we have hired this. Okay, so those of you that have been watching the channel know that we've come to the Lake District this week for 3 nights, but we're actually hiring a van instead of our California, and we just wanted to try something a little bit bigger with a little bit more room inside, a little bit more space to relax in the evening and just sort of spend time in. If the weather's bad or as a family, we can do things in the evening, cook easily and have different areas where we could go and still have decent sleeping areas. So we have hired this. So this is an Elddis CV80, I think it is, and it's a little bit different because it has the pop top on the roof, which is what we wanted. So we've now got sleeping area upstairs, sleeping area downstairs, and we've still got the dining room at the front. So I'm going to give you a quick walk around real quick, and then I'll tell you our thoughts, or my thoughts at the moment, on why actually it's going to be all our thoughts because Suzanne has had some ideas as well. So give you an idea on why we think it's good and why we think it's bad, and what do we think of it generally. So let me just show you a quick walk around and you can see sort of what it's got. All pretty standard, but let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is a 2021 model and it has a 2.3 140 brake horsepower engine. And so far in driving it, I've had no problems with it at all. There have been a couple of problems with some other bits around the van that I will talk about in one of my vlogs that you'll see in the next few weeks. But just real quick to go around, here is the where you put the gas. It doesn't take bottles. You go to a petrol station, I guess, and fill up your gas here. And this is where your water goes in. This is down the right hand side, the driver's side. And here are the two waste, fresh water and grey waste. In here is the cassette toilet. And this is the electric point, and this is a good idea. That is an electric point for outdoors. On the back there is a 2-bike bike rack, and there are cameras on this one all the way around. So there's side cameras on both sides, and there's also one just up there, if you can see that, for the rear camera. So moving around to the other side, the passenger side, this is where the diesel, it's on a Fiat chassis by the way, if you haven't realised that already, quite obvious that, but Fiat Ducato, which is quite popular. And this is where you put the petrol in the blue, whatever it's called, I can't remember what it's called now, diesel in here, and what's it called? It's the blue liquid that makes it better for the environment. And then there's the other camera just up there, if you can see that. It has a electric step which comes out when we there's a button inside you just have to press. I'll show you that in 1 second. And that's generally it for the outside. Okay, so I'm on the GoPro now because it's a better lens for inside, so apologies if the quality drops a little bit, but I'm just going to step in the van now and show you the inside. I'm on a bit of a hill, so apologies. Okay, so there is a button just here, which takes out the step, which is pretty cool. And then once we're in, we can close it again. So I'm going to start with showing you the front of the van and work its way back. Okay, so bearing in mind we are halfway through a camping trip in this van. Well, I say camping trip, if you've seen you'll see in the vlogs that it didn't all go quite according to plan, but to see that, don't forget to subscribe by the way, and you can see all about our pretty disastrous trip to the Lake District. But enough of that, let's crack on with the van. So like I say, we are midway through a trip, so apologies if it is a little bit lived in and not a showroom example. So front of the van, 6-speed manual gearbox, drives pretty nice. Power steering, the stereo connects up via USB. Both chairs swivel. I'm parked up in a car park at the moment, but you just get the idea. They're easy to spin round, and then they're facing back, which brings us into this area here. So if I haven't said already, this is a 4-berth, 4-belted van. Oh, watch this. 4 times already I banged my head on this, and it really hurts, by the way. So here we have the diner area. So when these seats are turned around, it does give us seating here for 4 people. It will be a bit cozy on here if there's 2 of you. Loads of room here though, so 2 adults, 2 kids maybe. And there is, I can't show you because this chair's in the way, but there's a little catch under here, and a little bit of table spins round, giving you a, I think I've taken a picture of us having dinner. I will put that in here if I did. Storage here, there's small cupboards here at the front, which we're using for food stuff because this is the kitchen area. Seating, Max has 2 seat belts. Max has got his booster seat there. Sink here, hot and cold water. Very dark in here. Let me see if I can put some lights on. There we go. 3-ring hob, so 1 electric, 2 gas, and a sink with running hot water. There is a fly screen, so if it's hot and you want the side door open, you can pull this across, and it gives you protection from the bugs. Let's put that back. Little pockets up here for knickknacks. Got a little hip flask, so we put keys and things like that up there while we've been parked up, so we know where they are. Up here is the control panel. So this is the hot water, and this is the heater. This tells you how much propane gas you've got. So sorry if you didn't see that. Hot water, heater, propane gas. The control panel comes on. This turns on the water pump, so the running water works. This is the lighting inside, and this is the lighting for the awning. This tells you the level of the leisure battery. This tells you the level of the water tanks, which are pretty much empty because I have just emptied them. And this is the roof that goes up. Now it's not as good as our California one because it is very manual, but it does give you a massive bed up there. We found it really difficult to get down. So you put it down and connect these seat belts, which holds it down, which is fine. But then you've got this switch here. This switch just here that you have to press to release some catches, and then when you lower it down again, you have to pull down on this really hard, press that switch again to lock them. I found that really difficult. I was almost hanging off it to get it down far enough so they would catch. So I'm not quite sure what I was doing wrong, but we got it down. But it wasn't easy. So that's pretty much the front. This is a whistle top tour, like I said. It's very dark at the back here. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, there's a switch here, isn't there? There we go. So let me show you the bathroom quickly. Shower, which unfortunately we haven't used. We were going to use if we didn't have the disaster that we have had. So again, please check out the vlogs that are coming up to see what I'm talking about, because yeah, it's if it wasn't so bad for us, it would be funny. And yeah, so this is the shower head, and basin. Obviously the shower head hooks up here in there, and you have a shower. There's the curtain that pulls around, and a small window, frosted obviously. A couple of pegs, a little bit of storage up here. How does this one open? There we go. It's got just some wash bags in at the moment, nothing much. So that's pretty good. The light switch for that is just down here, so we'll turn that off for now. So coming through to the back, apologies like I say, but it is lived in. So this is the one that will turn into the bed, and this is our sleeping area. So this is where we've just thrown all of the duvets and pillows while we're driving, and then in the evening we put the roof up, throw these up there, and we've got the whole area to ourselves. So you've got seating here. There is a table in here that comes up and sets up in the middle here, so you can eat around it or play games, which we did on the first night. Big windows all round with blackout blinds and fly screen blinds, so if you want to have the window open again, get a nice through breeze on the blinds. Same on that window, and this window's down. I'll leave it down for now. Lots and lots of storage up here. Again, some tiny little pockets at the back here to put things up, maybe put your phone up there if you're sleeping or something. And then it's just a normal, I'm not going to do it because it's pretty straightforward, but this pulls out. Same this side. You take the backs off here, they fit in the middle, and there's your bed. You do have to sleep this way in it, which isn't too bad. We did it. Can't really stretch out like you might do in a big bed, but for a camping trip, not a problem at all. And all that's left to show you, I think, is there is a cupboard here that is used for storage and sort of non-foodie items mainly. And then the fridge is really impressive. It's a massive fridge. If I can show you, there we go. Hopefully that's clear enough. Massive fridge with plenty of space in there for what you'd need for a camping trip. And I'm not sure if I showed you these cupboards up here too. So that is our hire. Now the reason we decided to try and hire this, or the reason we wanted to try this out, was because, like I said outside, we could pop this up when we get on site to a campground, make Max's bed. When he's ready, he can go to bed. We can then set this up how we want, whether it be a bed or for an area to watch television. I'll show you the television. Let me show you the television. So there's television on the wall, plugs here. It can run off a 12-volt supply as well, which is there, and 2 plugs there if you're hooked up on site. We did try it on the first night and it didn't work very well. I think it was a reception, so I'm not quite sure what sort of boosters and stuff is in here because it is a hire. So that would need looking at if you wanted to watch television. Couldn't get anything. BBC One was the best channel, and that kind of broke up and was pixelated for most of the time. So what was I saying? So yeah, so Max can go up top if he wants to go to bed, which he never does, but he can go up top while we're having dinner. We've got the space down here still, and we've got this area here. So if we wanted to make this up at 6 o'clock on site, this area here, we could easily make up at 6 o'clock on site, and we'd still have this room to play games, have dinner, do whatever, bedtime, throw Max up there, and we go back there, which is what we wanted. But in reality, we would probably play back there because it's probably a little bit more comfy, and then set that bed up at bedtime. But the other good thing in the morning is I normally wake up quite early, so I could crawl out of bed, come and sit up here and read or do some work on the iPad or whatever. Max can still be sleeping up there, Suzanne can still be sleeping back there, and no one gets disturbed because I can sit here quietly, and even maybe sneakily make a cup of tea. No microwave in this model. The company said they decided against it because they wanted more storage space. I think the microwave normally goes here. I agree with that because you don't really need a microwave, I don't think, when you're camping, especially if your space is limited and extremely valuable. So I'm going to reserve judgment for now until Suzanne's with me, because we both got our different feelings on it, but as soon as we can give you our thoughts and what we thought of the motorhome and living in it for a day or two, we will try and make that a bit clearer. But that was a real quick tour. I didn't go into too much detail. I hope you found that useful. If you did, then please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for me and Suzanne to quickly run through our verdict on this van.
So we're back now.
Yeah.
Hello.
We are back. Hello. We are back.
We are back from
our trip.
an eventful week.
Yes, which you'll see more about in
the Lake
future
District.
videos. But we just thought we'd give you a quick
what we liked and didn't like.
Yeah, what we liked, what we didn't like. So, Honey, what's the first thing you liked?
So I liked the fact that we had slightly more space than the camper van that we've got at the moment, and the fact that I could stand up without
knocking yourself
whereas
out.
I can't stand up in this camper van without having to put the roof up. So that was a real bonus thing for me, because sometimes I get a bit like with not having as much space. And
I think one of my favourite things was having an oven, because it's really good to. We did oven chips on the first night, did burgers, and
that's all we managed to cook.
That's all we managed to cook.
We were
more on that. in the next video. He's not going to give anything away about what happened while we were up there, but yeah, it was great having the oven. It opened more possibilities for cooking than just using saucepans and frying pans.
But since we've been back, even though yes, we did have an oven in that camper van that we hired, I've been looking into other things, and I feel that we don't use our Cadillac barbecue well enough, and it was only being at the motorhome show that I started thinking, different
attachments and stuff. So we're going to look into that a bit more.
So we're going to look into that
for another trip. What else did you like?
The other thing I really liked, well, it was bonus, is the fact that we actually had a toilet or bathroom in the camper van. It's not often I have to get up to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, but there's one thing I really hate is having to traipse across the campsite at 3 o'clock in the morning on my own.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with that, because it's especially in the morning as well, if you just woke up and you want to just stay warm. And so that's good. So
that was definitely a plus side for me.
And I think the other thing we really enjoyed was having 2 separate seating areas. So we had the diner area at the front.
Yeah.
And then, so while if we were busy, or Suzanne was busy cooking, or I was helping, or we were doing stuff, Max was chilling out on the sofas at the back. So that was really handy to have those 2 separate areas as well. But it wasn't all
perfect,
because there was a couple of things that we didn't like, which some of them were quite obvious with the size of the van and stuff. And for me,
we thought it was going to be great.
Yeah, we did. We did think it was going to be perfect. Our ideal. That's why we hired it, because we thought it was going to be our perfect upgrade
that we
from
would look to
California.
Get in the future. Yeah. But since being at the motorhome show, there's other things that I saw
a lot more things that we may
I would prefer.
I mean, one of the downsides for me was, which is obvious really, it's just not as easy to park. Even just going to a big car park, you only get so long in the space.
I had to keep seeing you back and things like that, didn't I?
And when Tesco's, places like that, when we were getting food, Suzanne ran in and I parked off right over the back of the car park where there was loads of space. And doesn't matter if you take up 2 spaces, and I had to stay in there in case. I'm sure there's ways around it if we looked into it, but that was
so
the
it couldn't be your everyday vehicle.
Couldn't be an everyday vehicle like the California.
You drive around and things like that.
Yeah. What was a downer for you?
I think it was, although we had space, it wasn't the best space. So it was great to have like that little sofa area at the back, and that little diner area. But the space between the cooker and where I was cooking food and people walking past.
People coming through the campsite get to get there. Just like
it was very tight for space, and I was really worried when I was cooking breakfast in the following morning. Was it the following morning when I was using the oven? To cook the toast on the grill. Yeah. I was worried that Max was going to walk past because it was red hot. That oven was. I was worried that he was going to burn himself.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
so something like that. But also the other thing was, the toilet, the door to the bathroom, if you open that, you lost all your space. So when we were at the motorhome show, there was ones
had those sliding doors,
a bit
doors.
like wardrobe for...
Yeah, a bit like these sliding doors on here.
Which I thought was a much better idea. That was a much better idea. Yeah. So a few of them had those, and I thought, that van should have had something
sliding
like
door,
that.
That'd save a lot of space. The other thing that was a little bit of a bugbear was, and we've seen different ones in different vans, was to get the stairs up for Max.
Because here he doesn't need a
he just climbs up on the seats, but there, because it's taller,
up, can't we?
And he can climb down on the seats. But because that one is like 7 foot tall inside, you need a ladder to get up it. And to put the ladder up, you need to take the table down. Take it off altogether. You have to actually unclip it from the wall to lift it away from the wall. But we have seen ones that just fold flat, which
would be more appropriate.
It's just easier, isn't it? It's just more convenient to have something like that, so that it's just where you then got to store the table somewhere, lean up against a wall or blah blah. But if this just folds flat, a bit like the one in the California does, if you're familiar with that, that just folds flat against the wall and it's out of the way. So
I think also for me it was, we have boot space at the moment. So like when we're getting up in the morning, we put our bed down, and the first thing we do is we put our
everything back there.
Duvet, pillows in the back. And same again for Max, when he sort of like, we put the roof up and we bring his bedding down and it goes in the back straight away. And also at the bottom of the boot, we've could put dirty shoes, you know, willy boots, stuff for the barbecue, the Kadak, you know,
all the camping stuff.
All the camping stuff goes there. But there was no actual.
They had an area under one bench, didn't they? There was an area under one bench, and under the other sofa at the back there was only half of that, because the other half was all battery and things like that. So
the things that we normally put in our boot, like a bag of our welly boots and dead shoes, that was in the van, wasn't it? And we were like taking stuff from the front to the back because we had nowhere really to.
No, maybe if we had it for a few more days, we would have come up with a solution and put things in the right place. It wasn't our vans; they had some things in places that we probably wouldn't have put in those places. Like they had china cups and bowls and that, which we probably wouldn't have. You know, you have to be careful how they're stacked and stuff. We would probably have just used our plastic ones, or melamine, whatever they're called. And you know, you could have piled them up a bit better, not worried about them breaking. But maybe that we would have been able to fine tune it. But initial reactions were, while we had more space, that extra space was being taken up with looking after storage and things like that. Yeah. So I think if we got anything out of that few days, it was the van that we hired probably was not the one
for us.
So we are going to keep thinking about it. There's no rush. We still need to use the Cali as an everyday car anyway, so it was going to be for the future, but we saw some good ideas that maybe we'll think about for the future. So anything else you think of for the van? Yeah, it was right. Okay, cool. Okay, so that ends this quick van tour of the
CV80.
Elddis CV80, wasn't it? So that's great. Thank you for watching. If you found that useful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and everyone says it, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. And stay tuned, because coming up next week we've got a campsite tour of where we stayed. There's lots of videos on the Lake District that are probably not going to be what you think, but stay tuned for that anyway, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.